Welcome everybody to the first installment of Jim's Proving Ground. We got a big weekend coming up with UFC 302. We got to look back on what happened with the Mariners and the Astros. Getting 3 out of 4 wins, going against always tough Astros, and some great highlights, some great wins, low scoring, great pitching. Can't wait to get to it. And we got some college football stuff to talk about. Implications for all of college football, a lot of programs. Things that come with a $2.8 billion price tag. Not sure how that's going to play out for everybody. But also looking at UW's players, transfer portals all abound. See who came with Jed Fish, who didn't. See how the roster's shaking up for this first season going into the Big Ten. All right, let's get into it. So we got UFC 302. We're going to work away from a little bit of a bottom card to the top. Going to start with Randy Brown versus Elizio Zaleski Dos Santos. All right, Randy Brown, 18-5 record going against Zaleski Dos Santos, 24-7-1 draw. Randy Brown, kind of a smooth John Jones kind of strike fighter. Man, when this kid finally gets it all together and can really start dominating, he's going to use all 6'3" of that. And in a welterweight division, if you're 6'3", I mean, you don't have to look far. I mean, look what happened with Nick and Nate Diaz. When you're that tall and you can use that reach pretty damn well, and you can strike, and it's smooth, watch out. A couple years, this guy's going to be good. Elizio Dos Santos, good fighter, kind of boxy. He's not really fast or flashy, twitchy. No, he's just kind of straight fighter, boxer, and he wants to grind you out. But he's a gamer, right? He's going to stay in there. He's not going to give up. He got knocked down early in his last fight, but got back up, continued to go at it, and actually gutted out the win. But I am going to pick Randy Brown for this one. That's also the favorite, so not going to bet any money on that one. No big surprise there. Next one we got is a heavyweight title fight. We got number 7, Jailton Almeida versus number 13, Alexander Romanov. Obviously, Jason Almeida from the great Brazilian camps down there in Brazil. BJJ expert. That's his ground. That's his bread and butter. It's what he likes to do. It's what he's gonna go to first if he can't outstrike the guy. And kind of the exact opposite for Alexander Romanov. He's not a wrestler. He is heavy-handed. He's looking to get a knockout. Now, with Jason Almeida, he's got a record of 20-3, 7 KOs, 12 subs, and 14 first-round finishes. For Alexander, we got 6 KOs, 9 subs, and 11 first-round finishes. So, both have the ability to turn your lights out early or submit you early. This one's going to go the distance. Could not. Depends on how quick Alexander can actually strike. Jason Almeida had a great outing going against Derek Lewis, a 5-round affair. Came out the unanimous decision, grounded that one out, but then did have a kind of bad game against Curtis Bladis, where he was doing great in the first round. Everyone was working on the ground game, getting him down, all of that. And then came out in the second round, Curtis Bladis kind of stuffed the takedown and then just kind of hammer-fisted him on the side of the head about 5 or 10 times, and that was it. So, looking to get back in the win column for him. For Alexander, he had a great streak going in, and then he got 2 losses. And against pretty good fighters in Alexander Volkov and Ty Burra. KO by Volkov in the first round, and then a decision loss to Ty Burra. So, kind of looking to get back into it. Going to be a good one. And I'm actually going to pick the underdog on this one. I'm going to take Alexander Romanov. I'm going to take him in actually a KO in the first round. Yep, I'm going to take him. All right, next we got is Kevin Holland versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. Apologize, man. I am terrible at that last name. I'm just going to go by Michael Olek right now. So, we got Kevin Holland favorite, 25-11, 14 KOs, 7 subs, 12 first-round finishes. Michael Olek, 19-7, 14 KOs, 1 sub, 11 first-round finishes. Man. Kind of a hard one to call. Both strikers, not really wrestling. It's a middleweight fight, so expect some fireworks on this one. And, it's for Kevin Holland, he's coming off a close fight loss to Jake Della and also to Michael Page. He's got a 2-fight loss going, and everyone who pays attention to UFC will tell you 3 losses in a row, you're really kind of down on the depths and you're kind of on the prelims, right? And you're out of the rankings, and it's going to be hard to come back up. So, but I want to highlight this one. I think it's going to have some fireworks. It's going to have a KO in this one, probably first, second round. I think that's a pretty powerful motivator. Just kind of keep your job, right? You want to stay in the UFC. You still want to stay on to the promotion. You're going to be pretty motivated for this one. So I'm going to take Kevin Holland in this one in a first or second round finish. Could be KO or ground and pound TKO. So the next one we got is the fun one. Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. This is going to be fun. Both heavy-handed guys. Going to be some fireworks. Going to be some trash talking. Man. And both are just dominant fighters. I mean, Sean Strickland, he's a champ. I think that fight versus Duplessis, it's kind of a more boring fight. Duplessis kind of did a lot of moving around and kind of controlled the cage. Didn't really hurt Sean Strickland that much. If you actually saw them side by side after the fight, you would think that Duplessis lost his ass on that fight. But, that's why you never want to leave it in the hands of the judges, right? So with Paulo Costa, man, he's only really lost 3 times. He's 14-3 record, 11 KOs, 1 sub, 9 first-round finishes. And you know who they are. It's Robert Whittaker, Vettori, and Adesanya. And that's the only KO is Adesanya. So you cannot say this is an easy fight for Strickland. And obviously with Strickland, 28-6, 11 KOs, 4 subs, 9 first-round finishes. I mean, I don't think this is going to go all 5 rounds, but I didn't think that same way with the Duplessis fight, so I could be completely off on this one. But I'm going to take Sean Strickland on this one. Kind of got that allure of the Conor McGregor talking a whole bunch of crap, starting stuff before a fight. Just kind of enigmatic in that way. So that'll be a pretty damn good fight right there. Can't wait to check that one out tomorrow. The next one we got is the big title fight. We got Islam Makhachev, 25-1, 5 KOs, 11 subs, 13 fight win streak. Going against Dustin Poirier, 30-8. God, I can't believe how long he's been fighting. 16 KOs and 13 first round finishes. So, man, gonna be a tough one. You watch UFC, man, you know exactly how this is going to play out. You got a wrestler on one side, you got Dustin on the other. It's not like they both can't go to the ground or, Dustin doesn't have any ground game. He does. But Islam is basically, he's a descendant of the same exact Dagestan kind of fighter, heavy wrestler. But this guy's a little bit different. He can strike. He is not afraid to do it. He will stand up on the feet and go toe to toe with you. It's kind of a different part about him. You see that same thing with the other title holder and from Dagestan also. So with this fight, Dustin, he's going to be a gamer. He's going to be swinging, and he will take a hit to throw that knockout blow, tough as nails. And that Gaethje fight, man, just that head kick. And I love Dustin. I love Dustin. Love watching that guy fight. How much he does to charity and all that stuff and the non-profits. It's amazing. He's a great person as it is. But I'm actually, because I get the same feeling that this is going to happen just like how Khabib beat Poirier. I'm going to go with Islam. I don't want to. But I got to go for him. It's just he's too dominant, too strong. And I don't know what they're doing up there. I don't know what they're feeding them or what they're drinking in the water. But these guys are just dominant and they don't lose. They are just they're having their moment right now. Where they're kind of coming in and taking over. So, there's your card there. Let's talk about some Mariners. Man, great series. Going out, getting the win, 3 out of 4. Hella good job by Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo, George Kirby. Great pitching duels, especially with Kirby and Verlander. Man, that was a damn good show to watch. Has some great, cool highlights with Dominic Canzone doing some Superman stuff out there in the no-fly zone. Julio coming up and clutching in the 8th inning, getting like a triple RBI from a little short hopper down the third base line, and then throw to first base is off the mark to Abreu. He goes to second, and then he looks at the camera and shrugged his shoulders like, all right, hell yeah, that's 3 runs, we're up 4-2. Hell yeah, let's go. That was actually pretty fun to see. Another highlight was Luke Raley going up all 4 of them, using the hops, taking a home run away from Jeremy Pena. Great matchup. And Logan Gilbert not being able to get it done on the 4th game, not even going to be mad about it. No shame in that game, man. You taking 3 out of 4 against the Astros, a couple years removed away from the championship. You got to take it. And that's 3 games above them that you got, all right? So the further we are away from the Astros and the further we get away from Texas, we're going to be good. And hopefully they can take this playoff run a little bit deeper this year. Maybe clinch a pennant, Maybe get to, first, second round of the playoffs would be great. We'll see how that goes. I'm not saying World Series. I'm not that crazy. But to get to that first, second round, maybe go against the Yankees, something like that. Get some old school vibes there. Can't wait for that. So, damn good wins for the Seattle Mariners this week. All right, now let's get into it with college football. The big one that came down. A $2.8 billion tag for a proposal done by a swimmer and a basketball star, right? The 2 plaintiffs were a swimmer and a basketball star, one from ASU and one from TCU. Grant House from ASU, and then Sedona Pierce from TCU. What they're proposing is to basically go back to 2016 to present, right, and to pay players. Because now that paying for players is legal, they want those guys that miss out on that chance, that got penalized for it and whatever else, like, no, we want our money too, because you just had us lose out on all this stuff. So what the proposal is to say, hey, everybody from 2016 to present, which obviously would include former players and current players, to get paid by the school. And how that's going to break down, right, is the NCAA is going to pick up, 41% of that? Let's see, the Big 4 conferences, you got the SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10. They're going to pick up 24% of that. The lower conferences, like the not the Montana States, but the Fresno States, the Florida Atlantics, right? The Mid-American conferences, Mountain West, Sun Belt, they're going to pick up 10% of it. The FCS, which is Montana State, Eastern Washington, South Dakota State, they're going to pick up 14%. And non-Division I schools are going to pick up 12%, which is like the smaller schools, which kind of doesn't make sense to me. You're going to have the FCS pay 14, and the non-Division I is going to pay 12, but the Mountain West people are going to have to pay 10, and then get more money, so you're punishing the littler guys. What? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's all legal. It's not like 100% in play. It's just all, a proposal, right? It's not set in stone. It's got to go through judges, litigation, legal process, all that stuff. But so was paying for play a few years back, and they passed it. So, never know. This actually might be what's coming down the line. And it might change the college football landscape for a while, because some schools are already looking at this and saying, you know what, we might not have the budget that we thought we were going to have. Now we're going to have to pay students, and we are going to have to put off doing that new stadium, doing that new facility. We're going to have to lay off some staff, or in the worst cases, completely gut programs together. And if a program isn't making money and it's not really on the priority list, they might just say, you know what, let it go. Sell the stadium, sell all the equipment, get rid of everybody. It's going to save us hundreds of millions of dollars a year. All right. That's kind of the downside of it. It's like, yes, the players will get paid money, and that's great. I'm glad that they should. But there's a cost to that, just like everything else. So, looks like colleges are going to have some decisions to make. Going to be difficult ones. All right, now coming into the UW program, as just kind of specifically looking at what's happening. It's kind of a slow start right now for the program. The only thing that's kind of going on is looking at the roster, who's coming in, what happened during spring, and recruiting people that came in. So, if we want to look at it, we got some pretty good recruits coming in this weekend. We got 15 in total, highlighted by got some guys from Mater Dei and J. Sarah Catholic. So Darius Dixon, quarterback, 4-star from Powerhouse Mater Dei. He will also be joined by his quarterback, who's a commit to UW, Dasher Beerley, 3-star QB. Then from J. Sarah Catholic, we got Dijon Lee. Madden Ferrer Mo, 4-star. Also from J. Sarah, we got Jake Flores, who's also a commit to UW. 3-star interior offensive lineman, like a guard. And then we got some other guys here. We got the CB, the cornerback from Mission Viejo, Dijon Lee. And that kind of wraps up all of our kind of top guys coming in for the weekend. There's 15 in total, but that's kind of the big 4-star guys that are coming in. Excited to see if maybe some of these guys can have their teammates commit with them this weekend. Who knows? Some magic happens when you're with a big group of guys. It just, no matter what program you're in, something crazy happens, right? So looking forward to that. Next thing we want to kind of look at is the UW guys that are coming in. With the transfer portal, it's kind of hard to keep track, even for me, and I'm a huge fan of it. It's hard to keep track of who's coming in, who's coming, who's going, who's transferred in, who's transferred out, and then transferred out again. It's hard to keep track. But I'm going to do my best to kind of keep up with it now, and this is what I've highlighted so far. And some of the guys came with Jeff Fish from Arizona. Talk about some highlights from the spring of some UW transfer guys. So we got running back Jonah Coleman from Arizona. He showed up in spring and hit the ground running. I mean, he was picking it up, going through holes, bursting through, spelling Cam Davis' name without getting injured. So, looks like he really established himself while Cam Davis was kind of on the sidelines, healing from injuries again. Another guy they brought in from Arizona, we got Jordan Shaw. And this guy, man, he was kind of slow start coming in, but man, he started making stuff happen. Huge DB. He got 4 interceptions and many pass breakups this spring game and all through the spring practices. Really established himself as probably one of those starters, or at least heavily in the rotation for this season, and hoping that he can help UW establish that death row defense that they had way back in the day with the Jake Brownings and Sidney Jones and all those guys, right? So hoping he can kind of spell that coming this season. Now, the other guy we got is from Cal, Jeremiah Hunter. And what surprised me when I looked this up, this guy actually had more contested catches than Romo Dunze. And Romo Dunze is a first-rounder this season, right? Signing with the Bears. So, it's going to be interesting. We lost some guys to the draft, and, rightfully so, but man, we're going to fall off, but it ain't going to be falling off by much. If this is the kind of talent we got coming in, it's not going to be a bad season. Now, the other guy we got was really big. And this is back when Kalen DeBoer was here. He's a huge defensive tackle, Sebastian Valdez, highly ranked transfer portal guy from Montana State. Said to be one of the strongest players on the team, but you never know. He came from Montana State, coming from the FDS, going to the FBS. Never know how it's going to turn out because it's a completely different type of competition, right? Not to say that hasn't been done before. It's just not a guarantee. So, hoping for the best, Let's see what happens. Another big guy that we kept around from the Kalen DeBoer days was Drew Azzopardi. Big offensive lineman from San Diego State University. Came in and started taking first team reps, right? At left tackle. Not even his natural spot. Did just fine. And then the coach just said, all right, fine. Go back to your natural spot. Go to right tackle. And so he's already getting accustomed to it. Probably going to be a starter. And then last but not least, man, we got to talk about Will Rogers. Mississippi State QB coming in, threw it all over the place last year. And coming from the SEC, he's used to the lights. He's used to the competition, going against the Alabamas, the Georgias. Nothing in the Big Ten's going to scare him. So, pretty cool stuff happening this weekend with recruits. That's some of the highlights that UW's got in the transfer portal. Got more on it next week. We'll talk about it a little bit more. I will catch up with you guys on Sunday with all the reactions, break it all down of what happened this weekend with the UFC card. Mariners going against the Angels this weekend. Then they also got, coming up this next week, finish out with the Angels on a 3-game series, and then another 3-game series with the Kansas City Royals at Kansas City. So, and talking a little bit more about UW, see if we got any recruits that committed. We'll see about that. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you in a couple days. Later.